Thanks very much for joining us.
No trouble. Will.
It's been about 3 weeks since your role as Carlton CEO has officially begun.
Yeah.
A simple one to start off with. How have you found it?
No, it's been great. I've been here for a long period of time, 9 or 10 months, so I felt very welcomed in before obviously starting officially in the role, but I've had a good lead in with Brian and no, it's been a good few weeks.
Now that you've officially started as CEO, how has it sort of validated having those previous 9-10 months transitioning with Brian now? It's enabled you to relatively hit the ground running?
Yeah, I think so. Particularly across other areas of the business. Obviously I've come from a footy background, but being able to spend that time, one, learning from Brian, but also two, learning from the GMs in those areas as well.
You certainly haven't wasted any time. One of your first orders of business pretty swiftly was appointing Davies as the General Manager of Football at the Blues from Port Adelaide. I guess, can you give our members a bit of an insight into why Chris is the right man to lead our football department?
Yeah, listen, we're rapt to be able to I suppose, get Chris to come across. He's been highly sought after from a number of clubs, but also to the AFL over a period of time. And I think the moon's aligned for him in relation to Port Adelaide with the changes with Ken. So that was one thing, that it was time for a change for him and Port Adelaide. But yeah, he's a Carlton supporter, but certainly saw that coming here to a big Melbourne club, one as strong as Carlton was I suppose advantageous for him as well, and the right time for him and his family. Listen, he's a really strong leader. I've worked with him on a number of working parties with the AFL across the years, and have a good knowledge of his work. And he's, as I said, strong, fair, has a really good knowledge and understanding of the AFL industry. Great relationships with stakeholders, great relationships with players and people and player managers, and I think he'll be a great asset to our club.
Chris doesn't officially start till the 1st of November, but how much involvement will he have in the upcoming trade period, which kicks off on the 6th of October?
Yeah, he'll come in next week for a few days and certainly have a decent amount of oversight of what we're doing through that period with Nick and Vossi, obviously. So we'll have a lot of people supporting those guys, including myself. It'll be a real important trade period for us, but no doubt Chris will be around during that period.
Is there any insight you can give in terms of his initial objectives stepping into the role, or what are those conversations you've had with Chris so far?
Yeah, he'll have oversight on everything, and it should be his area, obviously. He's got great experience in there as well, but I suppose me having done the role as well, we're able to link him with each other, and I can give him my insights on where I see footy. And we're going to have a number of appointments to make across our coaching area, and some changes to our list and those type of things, but all things he's dealt with before. So I'm sure he'll bring his own slant on it. And yeah, as I said, I'm sure we'll put together a great footy department that can take us forward into 2026.
Just before we move on from Chris, you mentioned sort of his strong leadership and stuff. Like, just how big of an impact do you think Chris will be able to have in that space for our football department, but I guess our club in general? Yeah,
strong leader, but he's empathetic, great values. It fits our value set as a football club. Humble, hardworking, and as I said, quite smart and diligent. So I feel overall he'll add an enormous amount to what we're doing. But hopefully complement the good people we've already got in our football department.
As you touched on a number of roles that we need to fill currently in the football department, primarily in the coaching department. Can you talk us through what the approach is going to be over this next period of time in filling those positions and solidifying our coaching structure?
Yeah, a lot of conversations, and Vossi's already having those. He's already had a conversation with Chris around that. He's supported by Len Villani and myself at this stage around those conversations, and they'll be ongoing over the next month. But I would have thought by the time we get to the middle of October, we'll have all of those appointments sorted and be looking to push forward.
Any names you can share with us?
No, not at this stage, sorry.
I had to ask. Just in regards to the playing group, 2 free agents leave, in Jack Silvani and Tom De Koning. Club was pretty clear about that around the exit interviews time. It sort of spawned a few headlines associated with around a player exodus, but I guess given it is out there in the public, how do those sort of headlines make what's your reaction to them?
I think both guys being free agents makes it difficult for us. One, I think Tom really wanted to stay, but it became a financial decision for him and us, in fairness. And the Jack Silvani one was Jack's an unrestricted free agent. We don't have a say outside of wanting him to stay as well. And we made that very clear that we wanted Jack to stay. He received a far greater offer at another club and chose to leave. So when you got players leave under free agency, it's always difficult, and you'd prefer, particularly when we'd put offers to them as well and wanted them to stay. But we understand that that's professional footy and the makeup of the game now. Hopefully we're able to attract some people as well.
Just on Charlie, Graham, can you sort of tell us what the latest is there with him?
Yeah, I think we've been very clear from the start that Charlie's a required player, contracted player for the next 4 years, and we want to see him finish his career here. It's been a big 12 months for Charlie. He's had 2 or 3 operations across that period of time. He's away on leave at the moment. We're expecting him back in the next couple of weeks prior to the best and fairest, and he'll be a Carlton player going forward.
We've seen a few players linked to the football club in recent weeks, in recent days. Can you give us an insight on what the club's approach is going to be heading into the upcoming trade period in a few weeks?
We feel that we will be really active. We've also got potentially Harry Dean and a couple of NGA players that we're considering as well. So we're really mindful of the fact that we may have to match bids for players, which is obviously topical at the moment. But we're hopeful of being able to do that, and then being able to bring in some players ourselves that can complement what we're after from a skill set or a positional need that we have. And we'll look to fill those, but be active and open-minded to what else is out there for us.
Vossi was pretty transparent last week when speaking about the playing list, and the club made that conscious decision in order to be more durable. It probably had to cut into that depth in the end of last year with some experienced players. Is this trade period and draft period about sort of re-establishing that depth throughout the playing group across all areas?
It absolutely should be. We need to add, as we said, players in a positional sense to certain areas. Hopefully bring in 2 or 3 draft picks as well, but certainly try and add to that depth across the board. And hopefully, as you said, I also feel that we had a number of injuries at the back end of the year, so we had a number of guys not playing as well, and all of those players have had operations that required operations, and Jagger Smith and Newey and those guys. We've got a number of guys who should be available and ready to go once we hit pre-season.
So you're sort of confident, I guess the club's confident levels in those players that are returning and those we are looking to add will sort of help address those depth areas of need in the playing list? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Some father-son sort of prospect. Father-son's been a topical discussion. AFL sort of affirmed no changes this year, but as someone who has been a lot said and been reported around the conversations that are happening, as someone who is actually having the conversations themselves, can you just give us an insight into the father-son space?
Yeah, well, father-son NGA academies really, so it's across the board. But now we've put in a submission to the AFL around not wanting to see any change. Change muted for last year, or in August last year, which will come into effect for 2025, and we haven't been through that iteration of those rule changes yet, which will see clubs pay a far greater price for matching bids. So we know that that'll happen basically from 2025 onwards, and we feel that there needs to be a 2 or 3 year runway and consultation through that period to see if there requires any further change, and there might be that, but we're hopeful that it'll potentially be one that happens further down the track.
Graham, with our football season that's still currently underway, or just begun, our W side winning 3 of the first 4 games in pretty impressive fashion. What have you made of the W team start to the season?
Yeah, our W team has been fantastic and started the year really well, as you said. Even against the Hawthorn W team, where we lost that game by 8 points, we were still right in the game with 3 or 4 minutes to go. So their performance across the board has been fantastic.
It's a bit impressive seeing their sort of speed of ball movement and stuff across the ground. Seem to be not only winning, but playing a brand of footy that can make Carlton people really proud.
Yeah, really exciting. Exciting ball movement, speed, being able to and wanting to take risky kicks through the middle of the ground, but bringing the ball back in and moving it quickly has been, as I said, really exciting to see.
How important is it for the W side, I guess, playing here at our home at Icon Park, it's obviously a special place to so many Carlton people, but your sort of first couple of home games you've seen here from the W team, just that feel that having the Carlton jumper out on that ground playing football brings to our people?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. Yeah, we've had great support from members and fans alike. We've had great attendances at both our games so far, and we've got another home game this weekend and another 3 after that. So we're hopeful of as I said, great support for our W team, and we look forward to the rest of the year. And we've got another 8 games to go, so hopefully there's something on the end of it.
Just to zoom out for a little bit, you mentioned when you first took over as CEO a few weeks ago, there'd be a focus on increasing our member connection and belonging. So thank you for taking the time to sit down and create this piece for everyone. But what else is being put in place regarding that space?
Yeah, we've just had I think a survey went out to our members on Friday last week. We were asking for feedback and input into what we can do better or what we haven't been doing well, and what they'd like to see in the future. So we're really hoping our members take the time to look into our survey and fill those out. It might take 10 minutes or so, but we find that really imperative to what we want to do going forward and how we support our members and membership base.
Is there a sort of timeline around that sort of fan connection piece in terms of rolling things out, or will that, from this point on, sit as a lasting piece for us to continue to focus on? It's really important for our football club.
Oh, I think it's important all the time. Yeah, that we connect with our members all the way through, not just at survey time. That we're open and there's a connection with the club from a membership perspective.
There just seems to be a lot of things going on with the football club at the moment now. Looking to bring in new coaches, the trade period's upcoming with a lot of talk with players. We mentioned the fan engagement piece, and as CEO, how do you order those priorities, or what are the priorities for the club at the moment?
I think all of the above. I don't think there's any sort of one absolute priority. I think footy, from a men's perspective, is important right now because we've got a number of changes to make. So that'll, and obviously with a new GM of football coming in, so that'll have priority. But I don't think I put any one thing in front of the other right now. It's being open and clear about giving my attention to every area that needs it, and trying to make sure that we value every area of the footy club. And as I said, the W program's massive to us right at the moment. Into our consumer membership area, there's a lot of areas of the football club that need attention, but we've got a lot of good people too.
One common theme that's sort of come through, and you referenced it in your email to members last week, but it's been around sort of the Carlton first mentality. Vossi's mentioned it, as have a few of the key leaders before they went off in their off season. What does that Carlton first mentality sort of mean to you as CEO, and something that you've been sort of driving to instill across the entire football club?
I think any decision that we make or any direction we go to, it's with the Carlton first mentality, that it becomes about the football club. And we're a football club that's owned by our members, and it should be Carlton first. Every decision we make is about making the Carlton Football Club as good as it possibly can be for, one, all the people who work in it, but also, two, for our members and supporters.
Now, we saved the hardest question till last, Graham, but when we sat down with Vossi last week, we got the exclusive from the senior coach, who revealed his dog's name is Pippa. This week, the big question, Graham, do you have any pets?
Yes, I've got a cat called Rosie, who drives us mad, but yes, thanks for making me put that forward, Will. Appreciate that.
No worries, Graham. We look forward to seeing Rosie across the socials at some point. Thank you for your time.
No worries, thanks.